I just, before I conclude, I just want to make sure that I acknowledge again all the folks who have gotten me to the place where I am today. Sometimes it's been defense counsel from the public defender's office. Sometimes it's been my own people. I remember after I was sworn in, sitting around a table with my policy team, Dee Goldstein and Steve Dan Burke, who I've worked with in the Justice Department for a very long time, and we talked about this issue. And I asked them, are we really going to do this? Are we going to do this? And the answer was, we should. This is what we should do. And so I'm grateful to those people on my own team and many others who have gotten me here today. And I want to give a special thank you to A.J. Yolkin. And I cannot remember what your group's name is. You keep changing it. It's kind of like the Public's radio.
Ouch.
But I will say, AJ, that the conversations we've had over the last year and a half have helped shape the way I look at this issue. And while we don't agree on everything, our conversations have always been respectful. I'm very grateful for your guidance and your leadership. And so with that, I will end here. Tom, thank you as well for your leadership in this space and the partnership with Governor Raimondo and with you. And let me stop there, and if there are a few questions.
General, there was an article in the paper over the weekend that suggested there weren't a lot in the law enforcement community who were on board. What do you have to do to bring them along?
Yeah, I think, I'll let law enforcement, that's a broad term, sort of speak for themselves. I think that they're...
We have some here.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, some friends here. And many of them have been friends and colleagues for me for a long time. I look forward to working with them, Steve, over the next few days and weeks to make sure that they fully understand why we're here. I think many of them do. I think there are some mechanical things that we need to get in place should this bill pass about where are the cases, who would prosecute the cases and that kind of thing. But I'm confident that working with law enforcement, we can get many, if not all of them, to where I am today.
General, we see under wraps up until the last 11th hour here, or?
No, we didn't. I think one of the, I'm new to this role, obviously, and legislation is also new to me as well, and so making sure, my team is always telling me that I want to front things too quickly, but making sure that we have run our legislation by the appropriate members and leadership in the legislature is something that takes a little bit of time. So it's been something we've been thinking about for a while.
We see you have a powerful supporter in the Senate here. Do you have support in the House for this measure?
Yeah, we're still working on the House leadership. I shouldn't say working with the House leadership to obtain a sponsor for this legislation. Again, that's a work in progress. We hope to have the bill introduced within a few days.
Would previous convictions under the felony statute be able to be turned into misdemeanors?
Yeah, see, that's something that we're really going to take a look at. I think it's important, and other states have done that as you look back in time, to the extent that this conduct is now legal, should previous convictions for the same conduct also be changed. And I'm open to talking about that. I think that's a very significant issue that we should seriously talk about. Other questions? Yes, sir.
What about people serving now for minor drug charges? If there's a law passed, is there any sort of clemency that we can see for people that are serving time already?
It's an interesting question. And again, I think it's something that we have to work out in terms of some of the mechanics. I think it's a positive first step today to make sure that we're focusing our attention on dealers. That, to me, is what this legislation is about. You're right to raise that issue. You're right to raise that issue. To me, this legislation is about two things. It's about making sure that as law enforcement, our focus is where it should be, and that's on dealers. And by taking our focus away from addicts, we take away a barrier that helps them get back into the workforce. And the reason I mention workforce all the time is because when I was U.S. Attorney, one thing that was driven home to me was that, to me, it all starts with employment. If a person can get a job, and that job can get housing, and can get health care, and give them something meaningful to do, then the odds of relapse are much lower. And to me, that's fundamentally what this legislation is about. So with that, I'll end it there. Thank you so much for coming.